everybody. Today I'm going to be introducing our next awesome science project. We are going to be building a cell model. Alright, so there's only 3 rules for this project. The rest are completely up to you. Rule number 1, the cell has to be 3D. It can't just be made out of flimsy paper like this. You've got to have some substance to it. Rule number 2, it's got to have 9 components. And I'm going to tell you what those parts and pieces are here in a little bit. And rule number 3 is each part and piece has to be labeled so that I know what you're talking about. Got it? Cool. Alright, so you can make this cell out of anything that you want. Some of the cool ideas are to make an edible cell. You can have the base of it be like cake or jello or something along those lines. If you like sports and you want it to be sports themed, whatever you like to do. I made mine out of just some things I found at my desk. We're going to start with the outside of the cell, the cell membrane. It's the gatekeeper and the guard of our cell. It's like those British soldiers that stand outside the castle. Nothing goes in and nothing comes out unless they say so. It's a double layer boundary and it lets things in and out of the cell. For mine, I used a piece of cardboard and I covered it with glitter so that it looked a little better than just a brown piece of cardboard. The cytoplasm is what's inside the cell membrane. And all of the other organelles, which is what we call parts of the cell, float around and they swim inside of the cytoplasm. So for mine, I just used a colored piece of paper. Alright, so the next organelle in our cell is called the nucleus. It's probably the most important thing that we're going to put in this. It's basically the president. Inside of him is a genetic code that we call DNA. And it's got plans for your entire body. So we're going to glue him right in the center. If our nucleus has all of our plans, then our ribosomes are the ones that take those plans and do all the heavy lifting. They're just itty bitty little microscopic things inside of our cell, and their job is to do all of the building. So what these guys are going to do is they're going to build amino acid chains. And that is the base of what makes protein, because, big and strong. Our ribosomes give all of their chains to what we call the endoplasmic reticulum, or rough ER. I just used some twine for mine because the rough ER is a system of tubes and vesicles and layers of things. And she's placed right next to the nucleus, really close. They're good buddies. And some of our ribosomes are on top of our rough ER, and some other ribosomes are free floating. Our Golgi body is the next player in this game. When our proteins are done being synthesized inside of our rough endoplasmic reticulum, they're sent off to the Golgi body to be packed up and moved on to the rest of the body. They're the moving guys of the cell. Mitochondria. And they don't really have anything to do with proteins, but they're the powerhouses of our cell. They take a molecule called glucose and they turn it into ATP. That's short for energy that our body can actually use. Without them, our cells couldn't do much of anything. There are other organelles in our cell that don't do things that are quite as exciting, like the vacuole. I'm going to use a penny for my vacuole because they're kind of big and they're kind of round. Basically, a vacuole is a storage tank for the rest of our cell. And the last organelle in our cell is the lysosome. They are the garbage disposals and the trash trucks of the rest of our cells. If it doesn't belong inside the cytoplasm, the lysosome comes along and he vacuums it all up and takes it away. I'm going to use a Cheerio for this. or have some kind of sticky note to it with a label that says what organelle is this standing for. So now we have our cell model. It's 3D, it's more than paper, it's got all 9 parts, and everything is labeled nice and neat on a little key. And that's all we need for our cell. So next week, when you bring in your cell model, we are going to have a runway show for our cells. We're going to have competitions for the most creative cell, the prettiest cell, and the biggest cell. So come with the best one that you've got, and we will see who wins. I'll see you there.